Okay. I just want to welcome everybody back who's watching or watching the story on whatever the hell version we're doing, or you're listening to it. We just added rock stars and what else? Monsters, some coffee and stuff like that. So, and lots of sugar. So it could be, a bunch of addicts around a table having with their coffee and their addiction, because we have it. But but I want to get into, again, we started to introduce Nicki and her position and how she came into A New Dawn, because now we're going to get into the impact and the outcome and the structure and the future and what we're trying to do with. I love it. This is what I expected, was nobody being able to fucking keep their attention for longer than 2 seconds today. Yeah, exactly. And Rikki, I'm super impressed with Rikki, because usually, she's the ADD one around the table. So you're getting jittery, aren't you? Yeah, you're getting jittery. This is like she's scratching her legs, for those of you that can't see her. She's scratching like a heroin fucking addict, since we're talking about it. Like, I gotta move. I have to do something. Let me out of my chair. I talk to the muff or look at the fucking... No, you can't even do it. She's talking to the muff and looking away from the camera. She cannot do both. Look at the camera and side mouth into the muff. How about you try that? See, you can't do it. Yeah, it's just so fluffy. So whatever she's trying to say here, she can't say it by looking at the camera. You're not supposed to look at me. All right, so we are, there's a lot of rules to follow, because I follow them all myself. Mm-hmm. So I want to introduce Nicki, and the first time that I had any exposure to Nicki was we were getting interviewed by Channel 4, right? And Kat was being interviewed for A New Dawn, and I came in as a board member, and then also they brought in Nicki. And Nicki, they put under the dark lights. This is before you were, really kind of out in public, right? You were still in a very dangerous situation, probably still are, but, yeah, we got you. We got you. That's right. Yeah, it is a little bit better. But she was, you guys see those interviews on TV where they completely black out the person and the camera was zoning in on her shoes. And this is how fucked up it is. I looked at Kat and I said, does her abuser know that she owns those boots? Because and that's how fucked up it is. Because I know my adopted father, the abuse that he put my mom through, and and me and her, and the torture that we went through. He knew every pair of shoes. He knew every blouse. He knew he was so controlling and so freakish about it that I was worried about even your boots, being out there. Yep. And right. And he hadn't seen him. So we were good, which is fucked up. Like, we have to, that we live in a world where even when you're trying to do good and you're trying to step out of that position, that somebody can be that controlling and that crazy, right? In my very first episode, I talked about, a guy who, and a lot of times it ends up, unfortunately, it's a masculine thing, right? This abuse and this bullshit. And we say, and it's actually the opposite of masculine. I want to be very, very crystal clear that the opposite of masculinity is somebody that has to take advantage of somebody that's weaker than them. I think we call them pussies. They're cowards. I've had situations in my life, people that I've helped, and I talk about one of them in the first episode where he abused his wife massively, and then came out and then started to attack everybody else. And we just think, what I think the Misfit Nation is here for, and we're all part of the Misfit Nation, people that have fucked up, we're not causing pain anymore, and we're doing our best to ease suffering in the world. And that's really the simple definition of what Misfit Nation is. But we've got to be here. The men that are in the Misfit Nation need to step up for the women. We need to step in front of them, make it okay for them to talk to us, make other men understand that there are guys out here that really think you have a very tiny penis if you have to hit a woman, you know? And I don't know what else to say. Like, it doesn't matter. I think that if you have to get to that position, then get some help, find some brothers, find some people that you can have a conversation with. If you feel like beating your children or beating your woman or physically abusing somebody that is of weaker stature to you, get some fucking help, you know. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of names like that, you know, but the problem is that all men these days are getting painted with the same fucking words. We're not all the same. You know what I mean? We're not all the same. And I believe that men, I think of my adopted father. I mean, the only reason why I have never raised my hand or been abusive in my life is because I hated the man who did it to my mom. And I stood in front of her and I took her beatings. I don't know what I would have turned out like. I don't know. You know, I don't know if I would have gone down another path, if I would have had to play. I had to learn a lot of things as an adult male because I didn't have a good upbringing, because I didn't have those right and wrong conversations, because I didn't have that leadership or guidance in my family. But I can tell you one thing that he created in trying to steal my soul, steal my light, is that he created a fucking beast that was going to always step in front of, right? The reason why I'm here, you know, you can see the logo behind me. The shield exists because of a new dawn. And that was Kat and them getting together and nicknaming me the Shield. And I feel like that we all as men, the really masculine men, are the guys that just shut the fuck up and stand in front of those that need us to stand in front of them. And so when I think of and meeting Nicki, that was just the second nature, right? Because I'd seen it, because I'd lived it, because I'd watched my adopted father do that shit to my mom and get radically controlling around the situation. And then there's this, and then listening to her story and watching you blossom has been something that, well, yeah, it's the intoxication, but it's the thing that a new dawn exists for. It's the thing why we all of us are flawed, fucked up human beings. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I love about it, is that we're all fucked up, and to see you bloom and to see you stand up and to bring your message, Nicki, in a brave way, and to just lay it out there, like, you know, at the ball, and a New Dawn puts on an event every year. And for you to say the things and to have that bravery is exactly why a New Dawn exists and needs everybody's support and to come around it. We'll talk at the end of this. I want to talk about bullshit charities, you know, because there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of people who say they're out there for doing good and they're just lining their own pockets and shit. This is one of the good ones, people. This is one of the good ones. And these women that you're listening to and the stories that you're hearing, they all support each other and they all love each other and they're here to do good. And I would put this group of women up against pretty much any other charity. I know they're new, but you know, we're talking about, we'll get into the business side of this because there's 4 things I kind of want to address with everybody, but you know, the goals and stuff. But Nicki, one of the things that you said, and I want you to tell a short version of what you went through. You know, abducted, you know, locked into a garage. I want you to tell that story a little bit. But we, you know, I don't know about we, but I've nicknamed you Chainsaw because, you know, and we'll get and the reason why is because I don't know anybody around the table, short of our light Rikki, that hasn't contemplated suicide at one point in time, right? And Rikki, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking, but have you? Nope. Okay, good. So, and I love that you haven't, but I have, and I think everybody else that's here, right? You did it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did a real good job of it too.
Yeah. What? Tell us about that.
I was 15.
Yeah.
And I decided that I was gonna show my mom. It was pretty much what it came to, how it was gonna be. I had this ideas of grandeur. She was gonna be standing there looking at me in the casket, feel so terrible for how she treated me, and on and on and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. And I had collected a series of pills, and I took them 15 minutes apart. And the only reason I got caught is because I started to hallucinate, and my dad found me. And thank God for that. Yeah. But my heart stopped twice. Right. I mean, when I woke up, I wasn't sure there was a priest standing there. And I wasn't sure if that was heaven or what. Until I saw my parents, and then I knew.
It didn't work.
And I looked at them and I said, "Don't you dare to leave me alone with them. They're gonna kill me." And he's like, "Okay."
Well,
And so after that, I mean, like that was my moment of, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
You know, and so I did what I call my pens. I do every year. I spend some time on the suicide hotline, and I talk to everybody that I can, and permanent solution to temporary problem. Everything, but at 15, everything's a big deal, you know.
Everything's a big deal when you're 15. Everything's a big deal when the life that you thought you were going to live no longer exists in your mind, right? And we're joining another organization. We're going to be helping another organization. We're going to announce it, but it's around anti-suicide and and that kind of work going into 2019. But it's interesting that, again, that sort of draws us together. And you tried to commit suicide and you failed, right? And so Chainsaw over here decided to say, well, here's you fucking pussies, you guys want to do your pills and could go out that pussy way. And she really contemplated the idea of and thought of cutting her own head off with a chainsaw, because that shit is permanent. And that's gangster shit, right? And I can tell you the couple of times that I contemplated it, I was on a cliff and I had a gun and I was gonna fall in the ocean. I didn't want my kids to have to do a viewing or anything like that. But this this badass over here at the table, who I have fallen deeply in love with and respect, is somebody that I am extraordinarily proud of. And I'll continue, we're continuing to watch you evolve. But tell us a little bit about your story, what brought you here, and then we'll ask what you see for your own future.
All right, so I think the biggest thing, I had been in another abusive relationship right before the abusive relationship where I was kidnapped and held captive, but it was abusive. We lived together pretty much since we started dating. It was about 4 months that we were together, and it was crazy abusive. About 3 weeks in, I kept telling myself that, I could love him enough to see that he didn't need to do that or change him or whatever, you tell yourself throughout all that and dealing with it. And I realized that it was becoming something that was going to cost me my life if I didn't leave. And I, gotten up the nerve to leave, and he basically talked me into coming back, saying that he was going to help me move my stuff because I left everything there, and that he was sorry and he would be more than happy to help me move my things into my trailer and move in my parents' house if I would contemplate giving him a chance, to work it out, not living together.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I think that women that are listening to this that may be in this situation or may find themselves in this situation, one of the things that I always noticed about my adopted father was that he got the sweetest after he'd been the worst, right? There was flowers, there was apologies, there was all kinds of, ass kissing that went on. And one of the things that happens is when you've made up your mind, and my mom did the same exact thing, right? When you've made up your mind and you decide you're leaving, go the fuck away. No matter what they say, leave and never go back. Because once you verbalized it, these pieces of shit will then go to such a level like what you're about to hear with her story. But that's the most dangerous time of the relationship, right? Is when you have said, I'm leaving, and they see it, right? They see it in your eyes. They feel it in their heart that they're losing that situation. And then they're like, fuck it. If I can't have you, nobody else will, right? There's so many times you hear that story. So.
And that became like a whole new thing to me, hearing that if I can't have you, nobody can after that.
Right.
One thing I do want to interject on that, because this is a perfect opportunity, because there are going to be women that are listening to this that I want to hear this. But the day that this episode is released on A New Dawn, we will be posting the cycles of abuse. If you are curious as to whether you are in it or not, and I'll find out exactly when this is going to air. But you can go to our Facebook page or our web page, and it'll be very clear. Because I remember seeing that and thinking that is my exact, call it the honeymooning.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you hear this and you think maybe I am, maybe I'm not, go to our page when you hear this and look for it.
AnewDawnFoundation.com.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, Nikki.
So, after this conversation with him, and mind you, I had no intention of working it out with him. In my mind, it's, I've got him where I want him, he feels bad, he's not going to do anything, and I'll be able to recover some of my stuff. Yeah, so, brilliant, like material stuff, yeah, worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, he comes and gets me, basically, we pull up to the house, and his truck doesn't fit in the garage, mind you, so we never, you don't go into the garage, but we went through the garage, which I remember just thinking was really weird. And go inside, and I start noticing there are nails in the doors, in the windows. Everything is nailed completely shut. And I mean lots of nails, not, a few where I could have just pulled them out or bent them out trying to get out. And, kind of condense it, he ended up unplugging the garage door, putting metal rods in between the garage door and the railing that it went up and down on to keep it shut so nobody could open it. And I ended up being held captive in the garage and being tortured. And he was going to kill me. And I remember that moment that I got that feeling in my stomach that I was going to die. It was the most sickening feeling in the world. And I knew I couldn't fight my way out, and I'm a fighter, I'm a scrapper, and to know in my head that, no, don't fight, and you just have to be smarter than him to find a way out was one of the hardest things, especially while you're being tortured and hurt, and, you want to survive it, and knowing that you're going to die, it's terrifying. And going through that, and I knew there was no way I was getting out of there.
So what's your advice? Because part of the reason why we go through the shit that we go through, right, is to learn something. And now you've survived it, you're on the other side of it. What's your advice to somebody if they find themselves in that scenario? Is it to just, I almost call it like going pilot, right? If pilots are trained that the more the stressful the situation, the calmer you get. Because, if they're up there, imagine being in an airplane and the thing hits a little bit of turbulence and you hear from the front, what the fuck was that? From the cockpit, right? It's not going to instill much confidence in the ride that you're on. So, again, I would love for this scenario to never happen to anyone, right? This is the awareness, and hopefully we're going to elevate out of being out of some of this bullshit at some point in time. We have to go to another level, in my opinion. But if somebody finds himself in that scenario, you outsmarted him. That's why you're alive today, right? And you outsmarted him by allowing this stuff to happen, by thinking about, I need to find my moment where I can escape.
Yep, what I ended up doing is every time he went back in the house to get a drink of water, use the bathroom, I would quickly get up and just pull one rod quietly out of the garage door and would go lay back down and hide it, just one at a time, very quietly, very patiently, because I knew if I got caught doing more than one, that it was over. And honestly, keeping calm and trying to think about it, going through all that was probably the smartest thing that I did, because if I would have panicked, if I would have tried to fight back, I think I would have been dead. I know I would have been if I would have tried to fight back. It would have just got worse. And if he would have caught me, if I would have got over anxious and tried to pull more out, that would have happened.
It's actually more of your instincts. It's the fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
You reserved your energy in the rods. Rather than lashing out at him. If you lashed out at him, you would have had no energy to pull those rods, and yes,
Oh, yeah.
you probably would have died.
My advice would be, when you're in that situation, you never are alone with him ever again. That's the whole, when you leave, you got to stay gone.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
you
don't
bring the
go
police
back.
with you, or you bring someone with you. You never put yourself in that situation again.
Well, definitely. I mean, if you get away from an abusive situation, don't ever go back. Like, that is the stupidest thing to ever try and convince yourself that it could be any different than what it's been. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not going to be. It is what it is.
But if you do, authorities, right?
Yeah,
Other people,
absolutely.
right? So somebody that knows what they're doing. It's a great piece of advice.
It
Or
was
at least bring a
absolutely
friend.
like,
Yeah.
I was really lucky that once that final rod was out, and I still went and laid back down after that final one was out, and then the next time he went in, I unlatched the garage door, laid on the ground, pushed it up, and rolled underneath it. And I was so lucky that there was a neighbor standing in the street talking to somebody in a car right in front of where I rolled out and saw me, and came and helped me.
I can't imagine your heart like beating knowing that rod was out and you could go and.
I mean, this
just
is
waiting
the
for
shit
your
that people
moment.
see. Like, this is the shit that people see in on movies, right? And we think it's not happening. Like, and this is part of, in psychology, it's like normalcy bias, right? This is an actual thing. And normalcy bias tells us that, okay, we're, a train wreck. Like, they talk about, there's a really great book called The Survivors Club that I highly suggest to a lot of people. And it talks about these kind of scenarios and, life and death scenarios. And what it says is, if normalcy bias tells you when you're in a plane wreck, many more could be survived if people understood the basic principles of survival. And normalcy bias tells us the train wreck is happening, or the bus is flipping over, or the plane is crashing, and we sit in that seat, and we're overcome by smoke, and we're overcome by the elements because we're sitting in that scenario going, this isn't happening. That's normalcy bias. This is not happening, right? And the faster we can realize that in a survival scenario, this is happening, I got to get the fuck out of this place, right? One bar at a time if I have to. I'll absorb another 2 hours or another 6 hours or whatever it is. One bar at a time. I got to get out of here, right? So that's it's one of those things that understanding it's not normal to be put in those kind of situations. But as fast as you can admit that and realize, now I got to move myself into action. So you got out of there, and then what happened after that?
That guy actually called the police, and they came, and it was like, just what you were saying, I went through this stage, like, he was arrested, and I went through the stage where I almost didn't believe that it really happened myself, because that only happens in movies. Like, it was so hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that I really just went through that, and that really was something that happened. But he had brought me down so much that when he actually got bailed out, I was talking to him, and like, I needed that explanation. I needed that closure. Like, I needed to understand why he did that to me, like what I did so wrong. And I can almost guarantee I probably would have gone back to get that closure and to try and understand, because he had beat me down so bad mentally and emotionally. And I'll never forget, I said something about, I had texted him something about owing me an apology for how bad he hurt me and what he did to me, as if it was something, small. And he was asleep, and the next morning he texted me back, and I still actually have the text. I have screenshots of it. But he said, I got your message about apologies, and you're absolutely right. I hope one day you can find it in your heart to give me the apology you owe me for putting me in jail. And that message was
What?
like, was it for me. I was like, screw you. Like, and he had been abusive to other women. I actually am in contact with some of them. One of them committed suicide. But none of them had dared to stand up to him, because he's a scary guy. And for those other women and his daughters, I wasn't going to let it go. I made sure to file charges and take it to court and see it through. And
I'm really grateful she was able to do that. That said, him stirring her up like that, we have to recognize is
Cycle.
it's cycle. So I'm glad that her response was to fight back and file charges and everything. But I can tell you, if where I was at when I was in that would have worked on me. That would have reeled me back.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, let's be honest.
That's the chaos.
Let's talk some real shit here for a second, because every time I bring up domestic violence, there's a group of human beings that say, these women like it. These women they go back, right? So why am I going to donate money? Why am I going to donate my hard-earned money for women? And this is a direct quote from somebody that I was having a conversation about this very subject. Why am I going to donate my hard-earned money when it's a waste of fucking time, right? Because a lot of times you hear about it. I mean, I watched my mom for 18 years of her life, stayed in this scenario, this relationship, and or 17 years, and it went back. And I know, because I was there, that there was reasons. She would try to take us, and he would hold family members at gunpoint, right, until we came back. He would, if he felt like she was about ready to run away, he would kidnap me or kidnap my little brother and leave until she would promise not to leave, right? There's no easy answer to it. But what do you say to those people that when they're looking at a new dawn and you look at what you do, why is it different than any other domestic violence program than that, where people just go in, they get a little bit of free housing, and then they go back to their scenario?
We stick with our women. Once we help them, they become family to us.
And to be frank, I mean, again, we don't, because the audience, most of them don't know this, that one of the reasons why I got heavily involved was because me and my mom would get put into short-term, protective custody, 24 to 48 hours, right? And they take you out of the environment, because a lot of times it is drug fueled, it's drunk fuel, it's drug or alcohol induced, and then they could pull you out and they feel like they put you back in after the danger's gone, right? But they're not understanding that the danger is long stem. It's long stem. So what is the difference in what, as to what that does exist and why this is necessary, either as an augmentation or something that needs to be funded at a higher level?
So the thing that broke my cycle was a program called transitional housing. And what that means is, so there's a lot of women's shelters out there. And we need women's shelters. This is not for me to say, like, there's a time and a place for both. They need to be working hand in hand, shelters and transitional housing. They actually need to be on different sites as well. That needs to not, for a lot of other reasons too. But most shelters only take women and children for 7 to 14 days. And after that, then they're expected to find their own place. And so, I mean, that's completely unrealistic. That's one of the reasons I kept going back. I didn't have a work history. I didn't have money. I didn't have first month's rent, plus a deposit, plus I didn't have these things.
Which is why a lot of women go back.
Absolutely.
For the roof over their head, the roof over their kids' head, the meal.
And the first time, literally, the first time I was offered a place to live on my own with my children, I never went back for a long period of time. And I stayed there for 2 years.
And how many beds are there in Davis County that allow that?
Two.
2.
2 beds
There's 2 beds.
in Davis County, Utah.
2 literal beds.
Yeah, literal.
That's like the lottery.
Right.
And in the end, not only that, but the program that I was in, that was in Davis County, we weren't supposed to have our children there. It was only supposed to be women. But we had a fierce group of therapists and stuff that fought for us. And they recognized that it was me and one other mom. It was both of us and our 2 kids. So there were 6 of us living in this 2-bedroom, tiny apartment. And they advocated for us and kind of brushed it under the rug that we had our kids there. But both of us are in long-term recovery. Both of us never went back. And we both agree that it was the biggest thing that absolutely changed. And threw a wrench in our cycle. And that doesn't mean that we didn't make mistakes along the way. It doesn't mean that we still don't make mistakes along the way. But still doesn't mean that we didn't relapse.
Right.
That's a big part too, that like I like to air. We need to air that. When you make mistakes, and when people just think that you make mistakes, like you spent too much money. No, like I fucking relapsed. Like once I got my kids back, like relapsed. And but that doesn't mean you gotta like go back
all the way.
Started. You know, that means you just got to fix it and you got to keep moving forward so that it doesn't happen again.
Right.
You know, so yeah. So in New Dawn, we are breaking ground on our own housing in Davis County in the spring.
Nice.
That will be long-term transitional housing. We will not be a crisis shelter. We will be working hand in hand with other organizations that will feed our housing.
Chills. I still get the chills.
Yeah.
I
That's
do.
awesome.
Yeah, well,
Get the chills.
and look, we've got about 30 minutes, okay? And I want to bang through some things here, okay? Because the Bald Avenger show, yes, I love that you guys have told the story. The Bald Avenger show is here for the solutions and what draws us together and what we're looking for into the future, right? When we think about all of the other, and I'm just gonna go through them. I mean, because we cover philanthropy, we cover business, we cover politics, and we cover like health, how you take care of yourself, like healthy, right? That's just kind of the combination. And we make fun of fucking everything. I mean, that's the point. I mean, we have a great time, and that's what I love about this group of human beings is there's some fucked up shit we've all been through, you know, and we talk about the fact that Nicki, her nickname is Chainsaw, because again, I don't want to tell the story. I'm gonna probably tell that story like 150,000 more times. But the fact that you went through the transitional housing, that the fact that you had somebody here, and one of the things that you'll know about Kat specifically is you want to come in and tell her your sob story. She'll listen and hug you the first time. And then the next time you try to tell it, it's like, fuck off, you know, do you want to move ahead or you want to stick with your story? Right. And so, yeah, well, but it's what most of us want. I mean, look, a lot of us, the weak side of the human psychology is for us to blame other people and to give our power away by pointing fingers at other people. Right. Exactly. And instead of the hard part, which is actually the thing that makes us the happiest, is facing down those hard things. It's making hard decisions. It's deciding not to commit suicide when you have the option and nobody's stopping you. You know what I mean? It's to go to bat and to put those people away that need to be put away. And that's really what we get into. And one of the things that I've come across, and one of the things that how Kat and I met in the first place, was a philanthropic support system that was supposed to be out there for the purposes of supporting other charities, right? And a lot of times, I mean, even like if you don't know by now, Kat's a hustler. If you don't know by now, I'm a hustler. You know, everybody around the table is kind of hustlers, and I still feel like we got hustled. Yeah, and I still feel like we got hustled. Okay. And that's where, like, I love this podcast is another thing, is to talk about philanthropy. You probably didn't. You saw it coming a mile away, right? So, but the point is that we want to be, we're all very positive, you know, especially now that we're on the other side, we have a lot of positivity. We want to believe other people's stories. Not only do we want to believe other people's stories, but the underdogs are the ones that we want to seed into the most. And usually when we seed into the underdogs that haven't gone through their transition, we talk about a New Dawn is all about a transitional housing. I think it's more than that. I think it's transitional psychology. It's transitional relationship learning. It's, you know, it's all of it. It's reprogramming of everything. And yet we get out there and there's a lot of people, there's wolves in sheep's clothing in the philanthropic world that we have to be careful of, right? You know, you go through and it's like, oh, we're supporting all of these things. And that draws me in, right? Because that's where I'm going to put my energy. That's where I'm going to put my time. And we can do multiples at a time and blah, blah, blah. And then you find out, well, shit, you know, the charities aren't getting much money at all. And most of the self-aggrandizing stuff and the money is going to the people that are running these, you know, these kind of I'm supporting charity type deals. But it brought you and I together.
Well, and another thing too is being exposed to that in other events as well. Being a wolf, okay? I identify as a wolf.
Yeah.
I am not a sheep.
Yeah.
Lion.
And lion, whatever. But that being
I'm
said,
a rabid red fucking silverback ape.
So I clearly, with my track history, have the potential to be a predator.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I've been a predator.
Mhm.
That's happened.
Right.
That's a thing.
Yep.
And now I like to call myself a recovered hustler,
Mhm.
right? So I recognize other wolves,
Mhm.
right? I see you.
Mhm.
I see you, bitch.
Mhm.
You know, you
You're
know.
not hiding.
And now, having gone through the transition of hurting and actually having to feel all of that as the people that I hurt and myself, now it does feel like a responsibility to look out
Mhm.
for other people that have gone through similar things that I put myself through.
So what do they look out for? Like, we got to move through these 4 subjects. Okay. So what do they look out for? What is somebody that behind, like, you hear a story and, you know, the biggest portion of humanity answers a question. If they're being anonymous, they answer the question to, why don't you give money or time to a charity? And the biggest answer is, I don't give a fuck. Right? I mean, it's the biggest answer. That's the most honest answer. And when you do, if there's something that triggers you or hooks you to bring you into supporting a charity, right? What are the things that people should look for? Because the worst thing that can happen is you take somebody and they don't, and again, there's no judgment of people who don't give a fuck. Look, the reason why they don't give a fuck is because they've got a family, they've got a house payment, they've got their own shit going on, right? They may have somebody under addiction in their own life. But once you realize that there's charities that are out there that gather like-minded people so that you can solve larger problems, because a team of 1 can only solve problems this big. A team of 2, you put 2 Clydesdales right next to each other, it's a much bigger output than either one of them could have done together. It's not a multiply times 2, it's a multiply times a fucking 100, right? Because you put 2 horses together, you see, you know, I mean, you've got 5 horses at the table, right? And you put you all together, it's like, let's see who can outdo each other in this fucking service shit, you know? Right? And you play off of it. So what do people that are looking to support you and your organization, what do they look for? What are the things that I admire? I'll tell you about you and why I donate time and treasure to you and to this organization, is because there's a genuine dedication to an outcome. You have committed to growing as an organization. In other words, putting structure in place, putting measurables in place. We talked when I very first met you, you had a 5-year goal for this housing. It's going to happen in under 18 months, right? Because you took what I taught on the business side and you actually applied the shit, right? That's what I admire about you. The use of funds is a big deal, right? Use of funds. You guys give what's the percentage? 93% of every dollar that comes in goes to go. Yeah, 92 or 93. Okay. Yeah, right. Is check into their money. Check into their money. Right, solicitation license, and then check in with some people. Nikki's a student, right? I mean, she is an outcome of this program. You know, check in with the people that are supposed to be that your organization is supposed to be helping. Are they doing it? Check in with other donors. Do they feel like their money has been used at a super high level, right? Yes.
Going back to the percentage that goes back to the nonprofit and your mission, what is the percentage that by law nonprofits have to go by? Because it's really impressive, our numbers.
So by
like if
law,
they were to know
it's
that.
only like 30 something.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. By law, it's only like 30 something, but national average is between 50 and 60%.
Yeah, and well, I okay. Yeah, it's way overachieving, but again, that and so everybody understands clearly, that means that if you give $1, that it's by law, you have to that charity has to do 30 cents of it towards whatever their stated outcome is. Now,
Specifically,
their mission statement.
Every single nonprofit has to write a mission.
Right. Now, the other thing for me, it's always about a measurable thing. You know, what is it that we're trying to alleviate? You say there's 2 beds in Davis County. We're going to add with this facility, how many? Roughly.
70.
About 70 beds.
But that includes women and children.
Women and children. So, right. So it's more beds than 70. It's like 100 and no? Oh, total. Okay. So 70 beds. So you're taking a problem that existed in a county and you're saying from 2 to 70. That's a measurable result. That's a measurable outcome. That means that there can be now 70 of Nicole's, right? Of Nicki, sorry. And we can have that many more people supported, right? And so that's a multiple, and we can check in and we can see that there's a specific outcome. We're driving towards it. The money's being used for it. And there's also administrative, which again, you can check into how much people are paying themselves. You can check into what are they doing with their administrative. I know every penny that you guys utilize, and it's being double checked and triple checked. And there's a lot of things you decide not to do because you're being responsible and your fiduciary responsibility is a super high level with this organization. And so what are some things besides that people can do to make sure that the philanthropic thing that they want to support is doing the right thing?
I mean, you basically said them all.
Good.
You really did. The only thing I wanted to add to it was philanthropic work. For me is really fun. Like it can be a really good time. And I suggest that whatever you do get involved, it lights a fire in you, and you enjoy I know a lot of people like to give here, but if I could offer any advice, like find a cause that really just lights you on fire, and treat them like family, because that's what a new dawn is we're a family. Yeah. I'd say most of our donors are family, and they're like avid, passionate, networking, advocating, all of it. And the impact that has on us by being loyal to us enables us to have consistency and set goals and hit those goals. Yeah. So we really depend on our loyal supporters.
Yeah, name some of them. Who are some of the people that support you locally?
You guys.
Yeah.
Trevor Lloyd. Lloyd.
Lloyd.
I don't know why I said Floyd.
Subaru.
Michael Dash. Lindy Bess. Yeah. Jason Medell.
Oh yeah.
Come on, finance lady.
Subaru. You guys got a car from Share the Love, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And no, we get $250 for every car sold from November to January 1st.
Wow, that's
which will be a nice big
And ever
check.
since Dawn of Hope, it's just taken off. I mean, I have people that come up to me in my store, bringing me money and say, "Go spend $60 for me, Jaci, for a Secret Santa." It just blows me away. Our Hallmark lady that comes in.
Well, and it's interesting. We'll move on to the business subject because these are good suggestions for people in philanthropy. But on the business side of things, one of the things that we do, and Kat, you and I have this in common, is a lot of people will reach out to us. And say, "Hey, how did you do what you're doing? Right? How did you get where you're at?" And there's two sides of this equation, which is one of the posts that I put up today was, every couple of years I have amnesia about, giving people help for fucking free. Right. and how much and there's two sides of it. There are, like, on the charity side, helping and supporting and giving that we're in a measurable way is the responsible thing for me to do. I love it. I'm passionate about it. Now, on the business side, if I would have come in, and I'll be just very honest with you, if I would have come in and I would have said, "All right, you need to do these meetings. Here's what you need to do, for your objectives. You need to fall in love with the outcome of your donors. You need to fall in love with the outcome of the people that you're trying to support." All of these things, and you would have taken that and not done anything with it. I would have exited, just like I did the other thing that put us together. I just exited. I don't have to make a big stink about the fact that Jason's not there. When I leave, there's sort of a big gap, and people notice, people notice, where the fuck did Jason go? Right.
We would notice.
Right. Well, and it's not about, I'm not leaving. Yeah. What I'm saying is I stayed here, and we will find you. You will. I know that's not a fucking threat. I know. Yeah. I'll end up in a fucking. Yeah. You guys will invite me into the garage. Right. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I was like, well, because I was trying to figure it out in my head. I'm like, okay, well, how do you keep the thing running? And you're like, and you and I had this conversation like it was fucking nothing. Like we're talking about how do you bake cookies, right? I'm like, how the fuck do you keep the chainsaw running? Like you're like, and I'm like, what are you thinking? And you're like, oh, I throw myself back onto it. I'm like, well, who's holding the button down? Do you buy one? Yeah. So she's like, well, I couldn't afford the one that has the thing on it answering me. I couldn't afford the one that has the lock on it. So I bought a bungee cord so that it would keep it running. Fuck. Anyway.
I love that you come to that.
Yeah.
It's just that simple for you.
Yeah. But it's hilarious now. This is part of it. Like we got to make fun of this shit. It's exactly. It was real, but it's all about innovation. What if you apply yourself at a higher level, right? So the business side of this, talk a little bit about why it's so difficult for people in philanthropy, because again, you and I get asked a lot of questions. I want to go back to this point. And what I did was I said, you know what? I'm going to have a session the last Friday of every month for any charity that wants to come in, and I'm going to give them my best business advice, right? Because people ask all the time, hey, I need your help. Hey, I want your help. Hey, what about this? What about that? And for self-preservation, I said, I'm going to put everybody in a session. We called it, it's on Facebook still, the Jason Cisneros charity page, which is really highly innovative, name-wise. Ricky's looking at me going, is that the best you can do, Jason? But we did it so that we could bring people there. And then we start giving this coaching, and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally what we get paid at my company, at Anton J, that sponsors this show, hundreds of thousands of dollars, in the millions of dollars to teach and to help companies really succeed. And we do it. And guess what? We have 100 people that signed up for it. Guess how many people show up? Guess. No, you're one of them, right? You guys show up, and yeah, it maybe this last week, and we're teaching some of the highest level stuff. There was about, what's that, for the live, but then go back and about 8 to 10 people that come back and watch the stuff that we do. And so a lot of people, here's the deal, in business and in charity and in life, most people want people to do shit for them. They don't, right? Like we're teaching the solutions, and they don't, and we're like, here's the answer of how you do it. Like, here's all of the millions of dollars of debt I went into, all the fuck ups I had, all the shit that you've learned over 5 years of doing this charity thing, and it's all there for you, and people don't show up. Are you fucking kidding me?
I have 2 things to say about that.
Say it.
Thanks.
I won't.
We need the opportunity anyway. We'll take it.
Yeah.
So number one, so my team watches that video. Right?
Religiously.
I remind them, like, video's on Friday, we're gonna watch it, and that's number one. And the reason is accountability. Accountability sucks, but you have to have accountability.
Yep.
It does that. It does.
Yeah, everything you want is on the other side. This is important for everybody to understand. Everything that you want is on the other side of the shit you don't want to do.
And from a 501c, philanthropic, all of it, that is, accountability is the difference between being a bake sale charity and a movement. That is what will make you different. It is so fucking highly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To grow, like, on a business perspective, and all the learning curves and ups and downs and
Mistakes.
bad, expensive financial mistakes.
Yeah.
That's something. That's real. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
That you have to learn, and then when you know of the hurt and stuff that's going on there. But the thing is that so many charities, whatever, they're started by social workers.
Social workers who are heart-centered,
right,
and not business-minded.
Correct. Which is literally me.
Yeah. I get it.
We're guilty.
Yeah.
She said
I get it.
her lights have been turned off, okay?
Yeah. I get it.
The only thing, well, there's 2 things that I think that really do make us different, is that we are so incredibly different. So we have different kinds of accountabilities on this team. And number 2, I am a hustler.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just a service social worker. I almost called myself like a service animal, but that's not appropriate.
No.
That's ridiculous.
Have we had a $20,000 day before?
Yeah. When we had
Good.
the
So it pays better than high-end prostitution.
yeah, oh God.
Just saying.
It makes you feel better.
You know, and I never dreamt that I'd be getting a nice big huge grant from places and we'd qualify for that kind of stuff. That was that's big. That's changing. That's
A lot of hard work, and we need more. And again, that's part of why we're here. Is I wanted you guys to be exposed to a much bigger audience, right? And so that they understand. Yeah, because this is not going to just this is not going to just be a Utah organization. It's going to be a nationwide organization. We're working on systemizing it so that it can be quote unquote franchisable, right, to other places, and understanding like. And the other thing that I want people to understand, because it's important that they know that this kind of bullshit happens. And if you're one of these kind of people that are going to listen to this podcast and get on here and go, well, what about men that are abused? And what about this that you're abused? But you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, shut the fuck up. Okay. Like, here's what it is. It's about, it's about transitional housing, a specific gap and a hole in the world that desperately needs to be expanded upon, right? So and this happens all the time. I saw it on some of your Facebook posts, right? People come in there, what about men? What about this? What about that? That's not what this fucking program is, So don't come here and
When people ask me why I don't, it's because I couldn't serve them on a massive level.
yeah, it's like asking why Apple doesn't come and change your fucking tire on your car.
Yeah.
It's because it's a different business. That's why.
That's my other job.
Right. It's the same exact thing. It's like going, yeah,
That's what it feels like.
and so if you're interested in helping, in this world, there's going to be links and chains. Like this is the stuff what we're working on is really bringing the different disciplines together that are really good at what they do. This organization is building transitional housing, right? It's creating that separation between having to deal with getting punched in the face as an alternative to leaving, right? And to feeding your children or whatever the case is. This is that alternative for you. And if you're interested in it, great, follow them. Don't come here and put fucking statements about the shit that they're not doing, okay? Just don't do it. Yeah, what the fuck are you doing, number one? Like, I always like to ask that question.
I can give you something to do.
Yeah, but the problem is that these, yeah, but here's the thing is they come here and they don't realize, for me, this is a transition. This is a transitional piece for all of us to understand, is that when somebody is giving their negative bullshit, it's like fuel in my fucking tank. Bring that shit on. I like this. I just sucked out your power, motherfucker. And now I'm twice as big as you are and you're weaker, right? That's what the shit talkers do. That's what they do to us. That's what they do for us. And they don't realize it. They're giving away their power by being cowardice and by not stepping up and starting a 501c3 and by not getting, doing what Nicki's done and stepping up and taking new shit on and learning and reading and changing and growing and supporting. They're sitting there. They want to go, blah, blah. We'll take it. Talk your shit because you look like fucking douchebags to the rest of the world. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I saw it. Like jokes on you. I don't know. Those movies where, they go in and they like suck out the energy and they become like stronger. Like there's multiple things that's how I feel. I feel like any of these douchebags that want to talk about this podcast or whatever it is, when they have the full opportunity to go, there's 7,000 other fucking podcasts I could watch. No, but I'm going to stay here and be an asshole to this one.
I don't know if you've ever seen somebody leave a negative comment on one of our videos or something, but we are trying to tax people.
No, it's brutal. It's brutal. But what we need to start doing, honestly, think about this. What we need to do is thank them, and say thank you for identifying yourself as, if you're a male, a dickless wonder, and if you're a female, somebody who has no fucking, that is a coward. Thank you for identifying yourself, because now we know who you are, right? Now we know who you are.
Badass for what I've gone through and where I'm at now, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without this group of people.
Amen.
So yeah, and the person who's going to bitch about and put negative comments and all that, we've just been okay. I'm not okay with it. Part of why I'm doing this is because I have fucked up so much shit. I know I'm going to be attacked left and right all over the place, right? And part of the, yeah, exactly. But part of the reason why I'm doing this is because it's not okay. We're starting to be okay with trolls. We're starting to be okay with people saying bullshit. It's not okay. It's let them, but we're changing the game. You know, we're changing the game, and the game is that you're making us stronger, motherfuckers. So bring that shit on. Okay. Two things. Politics.
Not the one.
No.
Why?
Because.
No.
Because.
Not the one.
Yep. No. But here's
No
what.
episode.
Here's what I. Yeah, I know. Oh, good. You have to pee. Look at how everybody dodges out of here.
That's why we love
Here, but here's what I want to say is everybody around this table almost has a different political view. And yet, no, but I am going there because it's necessary for, you don't have to talk about where you're from, you know, who you support.
We all do have something different.
But this is my point, is that this is the microcosm of the shit that has to start happening in this country. Is that no matter if you're for Obama or you're for Trump or you're for whoever it is, that nobody gives a shit when somebody is in trouble, right? Nobody gives a shit because we're all on the same boat. And this country is the most giving, most supportive, most opportunistic place for us to be able to do things like step into Nicki's life and to add value through something called a 501c3, surrounded by Republicans, independents, and Democrats, right? Without having to talk about it. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Last thing, as we wrap it up, give me a quick, just a quick from each and every one of you guys' points really fast, because we got to wrap it up. What do you do to keep your energy level high?
What's your formula?
Start with
JC.
What's my formula?
Yeah.
I'm passionate about this. This whole movement for me, this whole charity for me, everything that we do has lit a fire in me a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I take all of my time, my free time. I go clean the office. I go do this. I do that. I hustle up whatever we need. That's what I do.
Passion. Do you take care of yourself health-wise?
For the most part.
For the most part. Got it.
She's got water and
I
coffee.
push. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, when the sleepy JC still goes and makes the time. That tells you how much I care about it.
There you go. Love it. Nicole?
That was God speaking.
Yes, God.
Time to wrap up. Time to wrap it up, Jason.
Personal emotional investment. My besties, Kat, Rikki, us doing it together. Nicki, women like her. I mean, people like Jason. It's just seeing the community of women who have been broken down and finding others who have never been in that kind of situation or who have. That just want to help. I love being the middleman for that. I hate being the middleman except for this.
Got it. Kat?
When I get drained, I plug into my people, and you are one of those people, and these women are my people. I always say it like this because I really mean it. I know they can handle my ugly. You know, and like they judge me, just love me, let me sit in it for a second, and then we move on.
And you run.
Yeah.
You do marathons or half marathons or whatever that
Oh
shit
yeah,
is.
yeah. Running's
You
a
take care of yourself,
yeah.
you know, and that's a big part of it. Nikki, what do you do?
I think honestly for me, going to a place where I was at that place where I literally wanted to cut my own head off with a chainsaw to just make sure I was done, to seeing where I'm at now and knowing that I faced my fears and continue to face them, and it just makes me feel better to take that pride and I did this, and to now start, you know, sharing my story and see it help other women and know that I can make a change has been huge for me.
Small successes. Rikki?
I'm pretty simple when it comes to answers like that. The reason I do things I do is just out of love.
I like it. It seems to be a solid answer. I want to, again, I don't wholeheartedly endorse very many things, and the New Dawn Foundation.com. I highly endorse these ladies. I am on the board so everybody understands. But more than that, I'll be I'm their shield, and it's a name that they gave me that I hold that in high regard, something that means something to me. And and this is an invitation to listen to their stories, understand that at a table of 5 women, we've got 3 of them that were molested before they were of age, and everybody that's gone through some challenges, and you got one light here that's lived a charmed life. That there's a lot of people out there that need our support. Men, they need us to step up, and women, start giving men who are standing up for this kind of shit the due that they're deserved. There's a lot of good men in this world that stand up against this stuff and would never touch their women and would never put a hand on their kids, and they and they're just they don't get enough attention because they're lumped in with all the other douchebags. So this show is as much for them and a call to them to come and join this battle with us in one way, shape, or form, to stand up. But also just a call, if this is a subject that touches your heart, if this is something that means something to you, that this is an organization that you can join, give of your time, give of your treasure. Stuff, we'll take stuff, for the things and the toilet papers and we accept all love languages. And we're going to put up a link to their website so that you can understand. If you're in Utah and you happen to get a chance, go by the office and visit with them. Reach out to them. Send them as much love as you possibly can, even a note of thank you or recognition. Supporting, Chainsaw's path. I know that she's going to be doing much more than she is right now, because she's growing and learning and changing because of the environment that these women have put together. And I want to end it by everybody that's associated, your sponsors, the people that have donated time, the lives that you've touched, the women that you've touched. Just on behalf of them, I just want to say thank you for the work that you do, and for your hearts, and for the sacrifice at 2:00 in the morning when the phone rings and you have to go to the jail, or you have to go grab everybody and they're getting into a big group hug over here. But
I have to give a shout out to Miss Brandy.
yeah, Miss Brandy's not here, right? Brandy's not here.
She's badass.
Yeah.
Because she is out giving.
Yes.
She's out right now.
Yeah, she couldn't be here for this. So it was important. Thank you, ladies. This is a late evening. We're now on rounding 3.5 hours of this, and and it was awesome. So thanks again for being here. Is there any parting words, any parting shots, anything that you guys would like to say before we wrap it up?
Just thank you to you. Thank you to your team. It really does feel like ever since we've met, I feel like we're just all extended family.
Amen.
We're like, well, that works and that works, so let's just be family forever. Yeah. So
thanks for seeing us.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
I also want to thank our volunteers,
Yes.
our donors from before we were a New Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
After, during, just seriously, you guys drove us to it.
Yep.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
And spread the love. Take this podcast and spread it to everybody that you know, so that we can get the word out there. And that is it for this episode. Goodbye, everyone. We love you.
Bye.
Love each other. Forgive each other. Forgive yourself, number one, and understand that the power lies in the person staring you back in the mirror. We love you. Peace.